So guys, today back for a video on the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to my Premier League predictions at the start of the season. The season's done. We've only got the Champions League to play next week. Premier League's done, English football's done. When I was going up, when I was going down, and it is absolutely massive next season. But I've got to react on this season's predictions. I think the season before, I didn't do one. The season before that, I think I was really bad. I've had a lot of them. We'll go through every team, go through every position from 20th to 1st for my predictions, and let's get into it now. Before everyone's asked on the TikTok, I have been on holiday, as you can see, a bit of a talent as I am burnt all up here and that, but it's sound. I'm back home, back on the grind, back doing the videos and whatnot, and getting ready for next season. So this is like one of the last videos going to be of the season. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know your predictions that you made at the start of the season. Anyways lads, let's get into it now and we'll go with 20th. So then this is the start of the reaction of my Premier League predictions. Let's go now, starting off with 20th place. 20th place, I said Luton Town. They did get relegated. They were in there. They were in there for the full season. Obviously, the point deduction for Nottingham Forest helped with them survival hopes, but they did get relegated. They went down and they put up a good fight, so fair play to them. They'll be going in the Championship and they finished 18th. 19th, I predicted Sheffield United and they finished 20th. One of the worst Premier League teams in history, conceded the most goals ever in a season, way over 100. And I said 19th. I just thought that I would have a little bit more than Luton Town. They sold the best players, didn't replace them. Only good player was Harmer and James McAtee, and that was really it. And Brenton Diaz, that was really it. Shocking season, they're back down. And at the start of the season, I predicted Wolves to get relegated, which now looks like a really bad take considering they could have been on a push for Europe, and the referee decisions didn't go their way throughout the whole season. I thought with Gary O'Neill coming in, I just didn't think he was going to mix well with the fans, and I got the complete opposite. I really did. They've got some good players. Obviously injuries have not helped them either, but I think if they get a good squad going next season, they could go on to do something really good. But I said they'll go down and they finished 14, 4 places wrong. So obviously, so far in the relegation spots, I've not got one right. 17th, I predicted Bournemouth. Yet again, it was a funny old one at the start of the season. They didn't really sign too many clinical Premier League players. A lot of players from Europe. But the gaffer came in and done an absolutely unbelievable job at Bournemouth. There was a time where they were pushing for top 10. And I don't think they won their first game until October, November time. They really struggled at the start of the season. And they went through that massive period of just winning every week. And towards the end of the season, they were still winning games. And Dominic Solanke scored 19 goals in the season. Fair play at Bournemouth. They're doing really good, honestly, with the new owners and stuff. They could keep building and keep getting bigger and potentially push on for another top half finish next season. 16th, I've got Burnley, which a lot of people said that Burnley were going to be getting the 12th, the 11th, even top 10, which I just couldn't see it. They were such a disappointment this season. Really were. Didn't really have a chance of surviving. Towards the end, had that slimmer of hope, but I think when Newcastle beat them 4-1, it pretty much relegated them and sent them down. And really disappointing. And the fact that now Vincent Kompany could be manager of Bayern Munich, I think is crazy. I really do. But Burnley, I said 16th. I thought they'd survive how good they were in the Championship. They got relegated, they're back down into the Championship. Nottingham Forest now, obviously I think they've had a very frustrating season. The referee decisions didn't go their way. They got a point deduction. Nothing was going their way this season, but they stuck through it and they survived, and they've got to build on next season. I think they need a goal scorer because I think Chris Wood and Awani aren't clinical enough for the Premier League. Awani's good on his day, but they need someone who's clinical and going to score them goals. And defensively, they've been all over the shop, constantly changing the defence, constantly changing the system. Will Nuno still be there next season? Who knows? But Forest survive another day. 50, I don't think it's too bad of a prediction considering with the point deduction as well, but I don't think that's too bad of a prediction. I predicted Everton in 15th. They went at the season with a full season of Sean Dyche, and they got hit with a point deduction as well. Minus, it was 6 or 8, I can't remember if it was 6 or 8 points, but 14th place I predicted them. They finished 15th. I think they had a really good season. They won some really crucial games, and they did have a good season. They've got Jared Brownfrey doing really good. Pickford was player of the year and should do well for the Euros. They've got a good side, yet again, it's a bit like the Wolves. They've got to build. They can't just stay where they are. They've got to keep building. Obviously, next season will be their final year at Goodison Park, so it'll be an emotional one for them next year. But Everton 14th, finished 15th, not too bad of a prediction. Crystal Palace now, I think at the start of the season they could have been right down there with Forest, with Brentford, right down into the mix. They got Glasnow in as manager, and honest to God, he was honestly, that free attack emo, fucking not the fucking emo with the goth fucking shade. No, you've got fucking Eze, Mateta and Elise. That front three is absolutely sublime. Really good towards the end of the season, and 10th, brilliant for Palace. West Ham in 12th, I predicted they finished 9th. I think really good season for them in my opinion. I think they didn't really improve on the squad too much after they lost Declan Rice and Said Mohamed Kudus, but James Ward-Prowse came in and David Moyes is now gone. I think he's been hard done by in my opinion. I think he's done very well to get West Ham where they are, won in their first European Cup, first trophy in years, and I think he deserves a lot more credit. Lopetegui, obviously the former Wolves manager, is now manager at West Ham, so I think they may fall off next season, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with the summer transfer. This is one of my weirdest predictions. 11th, I put Brentford. Honestly, I don't know why. I couldn't tell you what I've seen in Brentford. Obviously, Ivan Toney got banned, so they didn't have a striker, didn't really sign anyone. I think it was I wouldn't say a disappointing season. I think that was from their squad. 16th is probably fair. They probably are better than the 3 teams that went down, but I do fear for them next season. If they lose Toney and maybe Zambrero and don't replace him with good enough players, they could potentially get relegated next season. But 11th, I don't know why I predicted them there. They finished 16th, 5 positions out, which is the worst one with Bournemouth so far in the prediction. Fulham in 10th, I thought. They lost Mitro, didn't really sign a striker and Raul Jimenez. Looking at it back now, I don't know why I put them so high. 13th, I think it is a good season. I think obviously Paulinho got linked away during January, didn't go, still there now. Munoz scored some amazing goals for them and kept them going, beating Spurs 3-0 at home and stuff. But they've had a decent enough season, another Premier League season for Fulham, and should be okay for next season. Brighton obviously had European football last season. They finished 6th last season, and this season they finished 11th, which is quite a disappointing season. Obviously now De Zerbi's gone, they're going to have to get someone new in. Brighton have always been that team where they've been in a relegation battle, done really well, and obviously they've done really well last season. Well, the season just gone, I should say. They were hit and miss. Towards the end of the season they were playing for a while. Since they got knocked out to Roma in the Europa League, it was like, they're not going to go down, they're not going to go anywhere, they were just ready for the summer, and now they've got the summer, and now they're just going to chill and ready for next season. It's a big season for them next season. Will they survive? I really don't know. 8th now, I've got Aston Villa. Obviously they finished Champions League football. I'm telling you now, no one predicted that. No one predicted Aston Villa getting Champions League football, so I think 8th is a fair enough prediction. I think they've got a good side. It was the first full season under Emery and they've done really well, honestly, getting Champions League football. A bit like Newcastle last season. Really good for them. 4 places now, I don't think that's too bad of a prediction. Getting them 8, I don't think that's too bad. Tottenham are in 7th. I don't know if I made this video before Harry Kane left. I think I did. I thought it was going to hit them a lot worse. Towards the start of the season, they were top of the league, going for the title. A couple of injuries happened to Van de Ven and Maddison, and then they fell off since then. They finished 5th. Got European football again next season. Obviously, this season they had no European football. They literally had the FA Cup, Carabao Cup and the league, and I think everyone loves Ange. I think he's came in and he's got a really good personality, but I think he needs to show a little bit more on the pitch. I think they've got to make a massive marquee signing, or otherwise I think it's going to be question marks for the owners yet again, and then I don't spend enough money because they've lost Harry Kane, didn't replace him. They've got Timo Werner in, and he's done okay for Spurs, but nothing special. 7th for them. Not too bad of a prediction, but 5th's a good season. The first one correct, Chelsea. I said 6. They finished 6, and it's the first prediction I've got right. Will I get more right? You'll have to wait and see. But I predict them 6. Funny old season. During the start of the season, they were right down there at the bottom, 12th in the league for Chelsea. Obviously, last year finished 11th. So it was like, what's going on with this football club with the money that they've spent? And Pochettino built up his ideas. Done so good to get that team 6th with some of the players in that squad. Very young squad. Players who've got no experience for the Premier League. Cole Palmer saved them, and now he's left. So I think it's a ridiculous decision. I don't know if it's a mutual agreement or if he's been sacked. I really don't know. They've got to get someone in massive, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think Chelsea will plummet next season with conference football. I think they'll probably go for that. But first prediction, right? I've put it in 6 and they got 6. I put it in Newcastle 5th. I think it was to do with, obviously, we knew we signed Tonali. I thought Harvey Barnes was going to be much more of a signing. No one predicted the injuries that we got. In the terms of obviously not getting European football, I still need to make a video on that. But it's, I don't know if it's been a disappointing season. Obviously, we've seen Champions League football come back to the club. But we've had some good times this season. We really have beaten Arsenal, beaten Man United, beaten Man City, beaten Spurs. The list goes on with the teams we beat. The reason why we didn't finish 5th or didn't finish as high as we could, because we couldn't beat Luton Town home and away, we couldn't beat Everton home and away, and we couldn't beat Bournemouth home and away. That right there is why we didn't get any sort of European football, and finishing 7th. Could have got us European football. We all know about the Manchester United result with the FA Cup, so we don't have European football next season. But if I swap Tottenham, if I predicted Newcastle 7th and Tottenham 5th, could have been onto a winner. Could have got so many more right, but onto the top 4 now. Liverpool 4th. Obviously, this season we all know that Jurgen Klopp is leaving the club. It was a massive shock in January when we all got told that news. He's been in the club for 9 years, and from my era of being a Premier League fan, he's been there for Liverpool. Obviously, it started off with the Brendan Rodgers era when I was young, and since then it's just been Klopp. He will leave. The former final manager comes in. I forgot his name, but I put it them 4th to finish 3rd. Fell off towards the end of the season. We're still in the title race even when they drew to Man City. Pitted off, lost games, Everton away, West Ham away, dropped points, fell out of the title race, and they finished 3rd. And they've got Champions League football again next season, so big rebuild for Liverpool, obviously, with players leaving and players aging. This looks like the worst prediction. Manchester United. I predicted them to get back-to-back finishes in 3rd. They finished 8th in the league, which is mad. The first time Newcastle finished above Manchester United in the Premier League era, 3rd in the league. I predicted them. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because we were unsure about what Harry Kane was going to do. I really can't remember, but it's a weird prediction. I don't know why I've predicted them so high. Really disappointing season for them. Should have done a lot better, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Disappointing for them, but like I say, they've won the FA Cup, they've won 2 trophies in 2 seasons under Ten Hag, and they're going to have a big rebuild next season. I think lots of teams having big rebuilds for next season, which is good era of the Premier League, but Man United have to do better next season, if that's with Ten Hag or not. Right then, top 2. Did I get them right? I did. Starting off 2nd, Arsenal. Got a spot on. I thought they'd just miss out on City again. Went to the last day. They needed West Ham to do Arsenal a favour and beat Man City. Man City were too good on the day. Won the league 4 in a row. But speaking more on Arsenal, if they beat Newcastle at St James's Park, they would have won the league. So if you put it like that. A couple of times they got beat to West Ham, they got beat to Fulham, they got beat to Newcastle, got beat to Villa home and away. That's why Arsenal didn't win the league. Not because West Ham didn't do them a favour. It's like Newcastle's situation. We didn't get Europe or get high as what we could have because of we didn't beat Man United on the second last week on the match week. No, it was due to the whole season. That's why Arsenal didn't win the league. They were short yet again. They'll be back next season. Will they win the league next season? Who knows? Then end off the prediction, Manchester City. I said they'd win the league again. They did win the league again, and they are simply too good. They could have done us a fucking favour yesterday though, beating Man United, but football happens. Man United deserve to win that FA Cup, and only one trophy for City. Obviously got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, and then FA Cup got knocked out in the final. Carabao Cup, they got knocked out by us. Just a league for them. Canny season. I think next season they'll want to rebuild on that treble season and go forward and try and win the lot again, but they're a good side. Pep's got 1 year, maybe 2 years left in him, but they won the league and Binksy got it right. So of all the positions in the Premier League, out of all the ones I got incorrect, altogether adds up to a score of 48. Obviously you want to try and get as low as possible, which it is impossible. No one's going to get the table absolutely spot on, but 48, I think it's around 50-ish where the score's okay. So 48 I'll take. The Brentford ones annoyed us. I don't know why I predicted them so high, considering I knew Tony was going to be out. No one knew Bournemouth were going to have that good of a season. Man United was a bit of a daft prediction. I don't know why. To be fair, I don't know. They have a good start to the season, but injuries has hit them. And if I got Newcastle on Tottenham the other way around, could be in a happy day. But I don't think I've done too bad. That is my predictions for the Premier League season. Obviously, there will be a predicting video out for next year's season when obviously we get closer to the Premier League date. Make sure to leave a like, post, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one.
Newcastle!